Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this first debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden for this presidential election. It's on CNN, and we're going to see what's going to happen. But before we do this, I just want to preface this debate with a little intro here. And I want all of you to remember that none of this is real. None of these people are real. Everything that they're saying is a lie or misdirection. They don't intend to keep any of their campaign promises. Both of these people are here because they want to be in the driver's seat. They want to drive the bus. And none of them actually have the ability to change where the bus is going, because the bus is going to go where the road is going to lead it. Now that's been said, let's see this debate.
The lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off.
So that's a new thing. We've never seen that before. We've never seen them turn the microphones off, and now it's going to be a new thing for
At the end of the debate,
this debate.
each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight.
Like any of these rules are actually going to happen as soon as they get in. It's going to be a total mess. And these two are not going to be able to keep control over the thing.
Agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Here he is.
Folks, how are you?
Whoa. After all this preparation, this is how he enters the arena.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
See? Oh, it's hilarious.
What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy.
Why does he sound so bad?
The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs.
Start right
Unemployment rate rose to 15%.
with the bleach
It was terrible.
in your arm,
what we had to
in
do
the
was try to
veins.
put things back together again. That's exactly
And Donald
what
Trump
we began
doesn't
to do.
react at all.
We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things.
Is this how, is it really how they wanted Joe Biden to come out
reduce the price of housing
and to sound
We're going to make
so
sure we
feeble?
build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination.
What's happened with him? He needs to drink something. He sounds horrible.
In addition to that, we're in a situation where
bounce back jobs, bounce back.
The lighting on both of these guys is terrible. It makes them look horrible.
Killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Both of them.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world.
Way too
He's the only one
intense.
who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, you know,
You see all the makeup on their faces.
We find ourselves in a situation where his economy.
He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months, and then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing.
That's where he's going to kill him, obviously.
In history, there's never been.
How is he going to defend
Afghanistan is concerned? I was getting out of
How is he going to explain to
Afghanistan,
people
with
that
dignity, with
inflation
strength,
exploded
with power? He got out. It was the most
all
embarrassing
the money
day in the
creation that
history of our
happened
country's
during
life.
COVID did
President
not
Trump,
create
over the
inflation
last
like
8
that.
years,
And then
under
all of a
both of your
sudden, when he
administrations, the
continued
national debt
with
soared
all
to record
the
highs.
bills that
And
they
according to a
ran
new
through
nonpartisan
Congress,
analysis, President Trump, your
when
administration approved
the
$8.4
Democrats
trillion in new debt.
were holding
so far,
Congress,
President Biden, you've approved
led to this crazy
$4.3
inflation that
trillion
we've
in
never
new
seen
debt.
and that
so former
we've
President
yet
Trump,
to
many
recover
of the tax
from.
cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year.
but he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster.
It looks like Joe Biden's been hit.
The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation.
It's going to be a very interesting
weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political
opponent. There's a lot of accusations.
All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation. And it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration
and
later
so he's
in
not,
this block. President
he's
Biden,
not sticking to one issue. He's throwing all the issues at the same time, trying to confuse Biden. And we're going to see if he can respond to that in an intelligent manner or if he's just going to lose it.
Benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America.
That's right.
And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2%
it's hilarious.
If they just paid 24%,
remember that one.
Either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with
he's losing it.
Dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if
here it is,
we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat
take that for
just
thank you. That's it.
Because all of these people are coming in.
And he should have attacked him right away and say, why can't you finish your sentences?
This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. That was the right moment for a personal attack. He didn't take it. Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think
someone
we're stupid.
Should have told
they
them. You see how they switched the camera to go on a single on Trump and the other angle on Biden. When he looks down like this, and he looks like he's going nowhere, like he's zoning out. It's a terrible shot for him.
Roe v. Wade. This morning,
whoever decided to let him have this shot
temporarily
at CNN was not doing him a favor.
To continue in Idaho, despite that state
moving it back to the states. This is
Let's see if we see this angle on Biden.
Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this.
They have so many cameras. Why would they use this one where he looks like he's lost?
Throughout the world, the most respected.
Look at how he's looking. What is he? What is he looking at?
Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was.
What's happening?
It was an end result.
Is he looking at someone in the audience who's like trying to whisper to him what to say?
Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're
Do
all
they have
making their
like
own decisions
a sign
right now.
and they write stuff for him?
Talk the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald.
We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women.
This is the battle,
including a young woman who just was murdered, and
the liberal woman
went to the funeral.
The liberal white woman.
The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about that, but here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
This is not how you win them over, Joe.
It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women
every time when he starts to go off and like completely
We have a border that's the
lose
most
the
dangerous
viewer,
place
they
anywhere
just
in the
say,
world.
"Thank you,
Considered
Joe,"
the most dangerous
and
place anywhere in the
then
world.
they move on.
And he
They come to
opened it up,
rescue
and
him
these killers are coming into our
couple
country.
times already.
And they are raping and killing women. Abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want.
How long?
We don't
How
think
long are
that's
they
a
going
good
to
thing.
let
We
them
think
go
it's a
back and
radical
forth
thing.
and just
We
not
think
respect the rules of
Democrats
the
are the
debate?
radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law.
As long as he wants.
51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a
And of
record
course,
number of migrants
when
have
they say
illegally
stop
crossed
is
the southern border on your
when
watch.
Trump would get a chance to
Overwhelming
review
border
it.
states and overburdening cities such as New York.
Every state is now a border. And because
Again,
of his ridiculous,
the bad shot
insane,
of
and
Joe
very
Biden
stupid policies,
looking at the side
people
of the
are coming
screen
in and they're
like he's
killing
lost.
our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call
Someone-
it
someone
Biden
should have
migrant
told
crime.
him
They're
before
killing our
that,
citizens at a level that
don't
we've
look
never
like
seen
that.
before.
But
And
he's
you're reading
clearly
it
looking
like
at
these
someone.
three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old.
How
This is
big has the
horrible
sign
what's
to
taken
be
place. What's taken
to
place
tell
in our
him
country?
like he's trying to
We're
read
literally
what the solution
an
is?
uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything
Now he's
like.
trying to
and we have to get a lot
digest
of
the
these
solution.
people out,
How
and
I'm
we have
gonna-
to get them out fast.
I'm gonna say it.
because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. People at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden.
a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his four-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump.
Oh, personal attack.
First of all, that was a made-up quote. Suckers and losers. They made
There was
it up.
a-
It
there
was
was
in the
a
third-rate
rehearsed
magazine
moment
that's
for Joe
failing, like
Biden.
many of these magazines.
played it pretty well.
He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think, it wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
Four-star general standing your side who was on your staff and said you said
That's
it.
hilarious.
Period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history.
President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief.
Oh,
that's
very,
what you call him,
very good
that we've ever
way
had.
to
They can't
avoid
stand
a
him.
difficult
So let's get that straight.
conversation by
And they like
bringing
me
it
more than
back
just about
and
any of them.
attacking
And that's based
Biden.
on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin,
Look at
he would have
Biden's
never,
face.
he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe. The history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of
But
dollars
he
of equipment
segues
behind. We lost
again
13
into
beautiful
another
soldiers,
topic,
and 38
going from
soldiers
topic to
were
topic.
obliterated. And by the
Make
way, we
sure
left people behind,
the
too.
answer
We
for
left
Biden is
American
very
citizens
difficult,
behind.
and that he
When
won't be
Putin
able
saw
to
that, he
memorize
said,
the
"You know
single
what? I think
the
we're gonna
single
go in
answer
and
that
maybe
someone
take
just
my-"
gave him on the
This
board.
was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine.
There's too many I can't
Never.
remember.
Just
What
like
did you say? What did you
Israel
talk
would
about?
have never been invaded.
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops. And
Did
nothing
they
about
cause
it.
him
He said,
brain
"No, he was
damage?"
president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is.
President Trump,
I
as
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the
No, they're
territory
not
in Ukraine?
acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started.
Oh, and
If
a
we had
straight
leader in
answer,
this war, he
unexpected
let everybody
straight
along.
answer. You would
He's
think
given
that maybe he would be
$200
more
billion now
diplomatic
or
than
more.
that, but no.
to Ukraine. He's given
Not
$200
acceptable.
billion. That's a
So
lot
there
of
you
money.
go
I don't
for all the
there's
people
ever
who
been
think
anything
that's
like
going to
it.
solve
Every
Ukraine.
time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that,
He's
the
going to bring
problem
it
we
back,
have
of course.
is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's
Thank you.
bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you
Didn't
about
at
January
all
6,
even
2021.
touch
After
about
you
the
rallied your
question
supporters
that
day,
was asked.
some
He's
of them
totally
stormed the Capitol to
dodged
stop
the answer on the
constitutionally
Palestinian
mandated
state.
counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. That what happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath
Again, not
through your
even
actions and inactions
answer the
on January
question.
6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C.
Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small Black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of Black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for Black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that Black families have
losing it
made
again.
relative to child care is incredibly
There's been a few moments
when we did the first
throughout
major
this
peace
debate where
legislation in the past, I was
he
able to
completely
reduce
lost his train of
Black
thought.
child care costs. I cut them in half.
And he looks lost.
in half.
And
We
usually
gotta make sure we
the
provide for
CNN
child care
anchor just
costs.
comes and
We
saves
gotta
him
make sure
and
because
says,
when you
thank you, Mr.
provide
Biden.
child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed with the
No,
progress
she was
so
supposed to
far?
say, thank
I
you.
don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing Black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not
And it's
living
strange to see
anymore.
that he
He
hasn't
caused this
been
inflation.
leaning
I
into
gave
that
him a
earlier
country
in
with
this debate.
no-
We're 1
essentially
hour
no
in, and
inflation.
he's
It was
just now
perfect. It was
mentioning
so good. All he had to do
inflation.
was leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. Best numbers. He's lost much of the Black population because he's done a horrible job for Black people. He's also done a horrible job for
Shaking his head.
Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people
Looking
pouring
for
into
help
our country, and they're going to take the
in the
jobs,
crowd.
and it's already started. and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
It's like, who wants to be a
38
millionaire?
seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action
Would you like
as
to ask a
president
friend?
to slow the climate crisis?
So
Or maybe
I
the
want
public.
absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever.
We had
and we
H2O.
we were using
We had H2O.
all forms of energy.
People
all
love
forms,
it.
Everything. And yet, we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the
And
worst.
he comes
in
with the
history by far.
ultimatum.
Thank you, President
First
Trump.
time we've
President
seen it in the
We're the
debate.
most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We have the finest military. in the
Will
history of the
Biden
world.
counter
The finest
with
in the
his
history
own
of the world.
ultimatum,
No one
saying,
thinks
if
we're
you
weak.
vote for
No
him,
one
we can never
wants
go
to screw
back?
around with us. Nobody. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up. Go online. 150
Go
million
online.
From 58, don't
Ask
know the
Google.
exact number. Presidential historians. They've had
Thank you, President
child care
Biden.
facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand,
No,
we have
we don't
polling,
care about
we
that.
have other things.
It's personal
that
attacks
they
now.
rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad.
You're the worst. I'm
And
not
they
the
rate
worst.
me-
You're the
I'll
worst.
show you. I will show you. And they rate me one of the best. Okay. And
I'm the best.
if
You're the
I'm
worst.
given another 4 years,
It's
I will be the
like
best. I think I'll be the
children,
best.
children fighting
Nobody's
now.
ever
That's the level
created an
of
economy
debate.
like us. Nobody ever cut tax. Took another one, a similar one, and one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 225 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is. Take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
What?
But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
No, he's never played 6.
You do
Never.
it.
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap. 8. But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
You know,
not
you know how
act
many
like-
rounds- Make sure we do something about.
Do they have a
what we're
prompter
doing
for
on
this one?
lead pipes and all the things that are
He's
causing
like
health problems
looking straight,
for people across
trying
the
to
country.
read
We're going
something
to continue to
into
fight
the
to
camera.
bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror. No
He's
money
not looking at the
whatsoever.
camera.
Again,
He's just
Ukraine should have never
looking at the
happened.
monitor.
He
He's
talks
not
about all
reading.
this stuff, but he
He's
didn't
just
do it. For
ranting.
3.5 years, we're living in hell.
natural at
we
ranting.
have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because
He's
of
going
you.
for a
Because
totally
they don't respect you, and they have to
unstructured
respect their
final
president, and
answer.
they don't respect you throughout the world.
He's going for the
What we did
chaos.
was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history. The largest
slinging
regulation
so many
cut in history.
attacks
The reason he's got
that
jobs
no
is
one will,
because I cut the
even be able
regulations
to
and gave
remember
jobs.
what he
But
said,
he's putting a lot of those
just that he
regulations
attacked him a
back
lot.
on. All of the things that we've done, no.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts.
There
now
it is.
on CNN.
End of this thing. Why is there no music? What the hell is happening? What? Is this is me? Is it my feed? No, they just completely fucked it up. CNN for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, that's it. First debate between Trump and Biden. what have we learned tonight? Absolutely nothing new. There's hasn't been anything that has been said that wasn't expected. Oliver was quite a even, I would say, debate. There hasn't been any major point where one of the candidate was stuck and was like, oh, he got me. Everything was very well rehearsed, it seemed. There wasn't the big Biden meltdown that could have been disastrous for him. He had a couple of hiccups here and there where he lost his train of thought, but there was no moment where he was like obviously lost, like looking at the ceiling and not knowing what he was doing. Other than that, pretty much even. I don't think this is going to have any consequence on the campaign. I don't think it's going to have any consequence on the polls. Pretty much everything that you would have expected from this first debate, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the future to see how this election turns out. Thank you for watching this. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of our videos.